Hi, Glenn Phillips here with Beach Homes Realty and beach-homes.com. Today I want to talk to you about myths that will cost you when selling a beach home. I've got 6 of them, so let's dig right in. Myth number 1, the local MLS and Zillow are sufficient and effective in getting your property seen. That's a myth. The reality is the buyer for your property is probably coming from some distance away, very likely out of state. The local MLS may syndicate to thousands of websites, but it's not narrowed down to this is just this type of property. It's one of the reasons we built beach-homes.com is that you're either kind of looking for a beach home or you're not. So that is in direct opposition to the myth that just throw it on Zillow, because there's everything there. It gets lost. If you manufacture golf clubs, do you want to buy an ad for the Super Bowl or do you want to advertise on the golf channel where the golfers are? Myth number 2, an open house is critically important. An open house is very popular with agents because they get to meet your neighbors who, the nosy neighbor, and they may get a listing out of it. And even if nobody comes, the neighbors get to see that agent did that, and it makes them feel good. They're confusing motion and progress. But the reality is, the buyer from your property is some distance away. They're going to come and want to see the house on their schedule. And the house may go on the market one weekend. They may not can come to the next weekend. They're not going to time their trip around your open house. Oh, sure, some people happen to be around and available and come. But the open house makes sellers feel better, but almost, and you can get a transaction out of it. But to get the optimal price, it's better to have a period of time and be very accommodating to the buyer from out of town, who's most likely going to buy your home. Myth number 3, Zillow's Zestimate reflects current value. Not necessarily, particularly at the beach and any other type of niche property. And this, I'm going to be clear, is not I'm not knocking Zillow. In fact, you can go on their website, and if you dig around a little bit, they actually have a report that says where they think they're really good and where they're not. And they've been very open and candid about the data is just different from one place to another, and their algorithm doesn't always know how to deal with it. They're very forthcoming about this, about their confidence level. So, and I also contend that this, and they're called AVMs, automated valuation models, across all the platforms, they just are kind of broken in niche property because of other aspects than just square footage and year it was built. Myth number 4, beach home buyers want the same type of homes that were popular a decade or more ago. If your home's a little dated or it's got certain features that were all the rage at the time, that house is going to be seen by today's buyers as probably needing a bit of an update or wanting a discount if you haven't done that update, because they're going to want to spend the money. Now, some houses and formats are just popular and they just are. But technology is starting to be part of all these houses for many people, and whether it's a smart home or smart appliances, it's security, it's Ring, it's Wi-Fi, these things are electronic, but also the size of the home. The mega house can be very popular, but sometimes people are wanting to downsize. And so across all real estate, getting smaller has been a little more popular for a host of reasons. Myth number 5, fewer beach houses for sale means sellers can ask a premium price. That seems to be supply and demand logic, but here's the anomaly taking place in beach real estate, as well as actually every other type of real estate, is that sellers think they can command this COVID type crazy pricing, and today's buyers are more informed than any time in human history, and they're just not going to pay the prices. They will wait, and will particularly do so for niche property like a beach property, a beach home, a condo, because it's a dream property. They don't have to buy it. They're not trying to get into it before school starts or a job change. This is something they've got time to wait on. And so if a property sits on the market for several weeks, that market has been tested and the market said, no, I'm not paying your price. It's not a market exposure problem. It is purely price. Marketing can't fix a premium price that the consumer buyer is uninterested in. In fact, that leads me to my last myth today. Myth number 6 is people think there's a little risk in testing the market with a high price. We'll just put it out there and see what happens. Well, first off, that almost always results in getting less money for your property in the end of the day. And there's a whole set of reasons for that without going into all of them. But I would at least submit this. If you're going to test the market with a price, know what the test is. It's a timed test, like taking a final exam. If you're going to test the market, if you haven't gotten a lot of significant action in a week to 10 days, you failed the test, and you need to have a plan of action. If you're testing it, know what plan B is and what plan C is. We're finding most of the properties right now, they're getting the best pricing at the sale table are those that have priced it a more comparable and leave it open a little bit period of time so that they can get some competition. It's not COVID frenzy, but people will be a little bit more because they believe you're a serious seller and not some dream person thinking your home is a lottery ticket and waiting to cash it in. So lots of myths out there about selling any type of real estate, and some of these are very unique to beach property. So I hope these things, when it's time, whether now or in the future, to sell your property, we have agents that are on beach-homes.com, as well as beyond that, we have a big network of agents across the country that we work with that can help guide you through this process so that you get the maximum return on your investment in your beach property. Whether you're selling now or you're just wanting to plan for 2 or 3 or 4 years, we're patient, we get it. We're going to work with you as best we can. Hope this has been helpful. Thank you and have a great day. For more information, be sure to check out beach-homes.com.